Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt186 and today I'm taking a quick look at the Roku Streambar. Roku is one of my favorites. I've had things from, and I still have a lot of these, the Xiaomi Mi box, the Netgear box, whatever it was called, I don't remember. It's hanging in the garage actually attached to the projector, but it's not in use. Apple TV, Fire TV, I've had these things, but when it comes down to my favorite and who reigns king or supreme, it is Roku. Now there's a couple caveats that Roku's done that's a little weird that I'm going to mention also, but I wanted to talk about the Streambar if it's something you've been interested in. It's definitely something I love having right now, but what most people probably want is to hear it to some degree. So we're going to record it over our microphones and it's going to be heard over your speakers in comparison with other speakers or output sound devices I have. So kind of do your best to decipher what you think sounds great. I know it can be a little hard to do, but it's the best way I can articulate to you guys to hopefully give you a range of sound. Everything will be set at its respective 30% volume and played back for you to hear. Let's go ahead and compare it real quick and then we'll move on and talk a little bit about it. Now, if you were wondering if you can mount this, you can definitely mount this. There are threaded mounts on the back, so if you wanted to do like a wall mount setup, sort of like I have beneath my projector with the Bose soundbar, excuse me, you can totally do that. Alternately, it also has some rubber feet on it, which make it pretty easy to set on any surface or shelf or right in front of a TV or below a TV, and it'll hold pretty well. It's got a pretty decent weight to it. Check here for the weights. And now let's move on and talk about a couple other things with it. The newer Roku soundbar devices or Streambar devices only support sound over HDMI ARC or audio return channel and can be configured with another complete different setup for a home theater sound setup and used sort of like a center channel. Alternately though, if you don't have the ability to support that and you just want to increase your TV's crappy sound already and it does support something like optical, then you can do that. But optical, I believe, and audio nerds correct me if I'm wrong, only supports up to 5.1. While going over HDMI ARC through a receiver or something, you can get that whole 7.1 to 7.2 surround setup or more if that's a thing. Audio nerds, again, post down below. As I'm not a huge, massive audiophile that sets up these home theater setups, I'm sure somebody has some better answers out there about how to set it up as a center channel or use it in conjunction with other speakers. Roku does also make other speakers that can work with it. But again, HDMI ARC, audio return channel, and optical out. That is your only way to get sound to your visual device or from your visual device back out the speakers. So bear in mind, you have that. No 3.5, no TRS, nothing like that is set up in the back. You have to use those. Also, there is a USB on the back so that you can stream your digital media from a USB drive or USB thumbstick or any USB connected device that has a storage media file on it. You can play that through the Roku and enjoy your home movies or pictures or slideshows or downloaded movies from whatever, or your audio library. I paused what I was doing because I realized I completely forgot to talk about the remote, and I do want to address this. Roku went with an IR receiver, and I'm not necessarily a fan of that because they have really well-performing RF sensor remotes, such as in their streaming sticks. If you get a streaming stick, of course, it's going to be usually behind something or plugged in away from sight or line of sight, in which case they go with the RF. But cool things to mention about the remote is it auto-programs your TV. So the power button actually turns the TV on and off as well as the Roku on and off because, you know, if you power it that way. And it automatically learns things like volume. So you can do volume up and down right here on the side or mute the TV on the remote, something that's pretty cool. I've seen a lot of Roku remotes over the years. I still have some that have a Blockbuster on them, but this specific one came with Disney Plus setup, Sling TV, Hulu, and Netflix as default buttons to launch channels. It's always been a little weird that they put that on there, especially because, like I said, I've got ones that still say Blockbuster on them and could probably do with something a little more functionally neat down here. Netflix is always a good one to have there because Netflix, I don't feel like it's going anywhere anytime soon, and maybe Hulu too and Disney Plus, but you know, Sling might go debunked one day, much like Blockbuster did. Not saying they will. Sling's probably great. I don't use Sling, but there you go. Anyways, the remote, pretty simple. You plug in the Roku, you set it up, it auto-learns the TV, pre-programs the codes. I've had one device that it didn't do that on, and it was a projector, where it just couldn't figure out the projector. You can also go in there and try to tell it to learn it, but it'll go through about 38 different code settings, and if it can't find it, then you're just, you know, not in good shape with that. But again, cool, it can auto-learn, you can adjust your volume, you can turn your TV off and on with this, or projector, or whatever you have it plugged into that it's capable of learning the codes from, and it just works. It's super easy, but IR. Why IR, Roku? Why not just stick with the RF technology? You know, maybe to save money, maybe to make it a little more cost-effective for people, but again, it's IR, so you have to have line of sight with the Roku device. But that's the remote. I forgot to cover it, so I wanted to come back and make a quick clip. So this looks a little out of place in the video. We're talking about the remote. That's it right here. And that's it. So why Roku? Roku typically offers the king of all channel packages. Anything from Hulu, Disney+, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Vudu, all the things most people watch are on there. It's curious, lacking of HBO Max is a little strange, but there is a workaround using AirPlay. Yes, it supports AirPlay, so that's good for most of us. As far as screen mirror or something like that, whatever the Android equivalent of that is, I'm not entirely sure, but I'll post down below if I find out an answer for that. Screen mirroring HBO Max works just as well as having the app on there, but it would be a lot easier and a lot nicer if it just had the HBO Max app on there. Why it doesn't, I don't know, because it did previously support things like HBO Go and HBO Now. You could put both of those on there and watch the respective HBO one that you wanted to watch on there. However, now it's not an option to have HBO Max on there. But you're not missing too much, as the DC shows that have been coming out are a little bit lackluster and not as story-driven as I would have hoped them to be. Give Arya Stark her spin-off of Game of Thrones and I might come back to you, HBO. Now, as far as actual technical specifications, I will post those down below so that you guys can go visit that and read them yourselves. There's no point in me really reading off to you what you can already read somewhere else. I can just tell you the experience with this device has been A+ awesome, and it's exactly what I expected from Roku, and I highly recommend it if you're looking to increase the poor quality sound on your TV setup, as well as have a smart setup device that can do all the streaming or AirPlay or listen to music as a Bluetooth device. This device will do it. It will handle it all around. Hopefully you got something out of the sound comparison earlier and you're able to make some sort of educated decision if it's something that you've been contemplating. Anyways, you guys have a great day, night, whatever it is, and I will see you in the next video that I do.